And it goes a little something like,
I'll keep love you warm all summer, and after fall, I'll keep you warm all summer.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Raquel. In today's video, we are going to be discussing the topic of daddy issues. But before we get into today's video, make sure you go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to this channel and turn on your notifications so that you will be notified when I make another video. Suddenly makes sense. So now that we got that out the way, let's go ahead and get into today's topic. Let's see, where do we begin? It all started at the age of, actually it was before I was 2. So my biological father left before I was 2 years old. And I actually did not see him again until I was 17 at my grandfather's funeral. That's the gist of that relationship. There wasn't one. I do have a dad who basically took me in and raised me as his child from the age of actually almost 3. So it was 2, maybe 3, maybe going on 3. I think I was 2 when my mom met my dad. Not my biological father, but my daddy. Okay, so let's go ahead and clarify this. When I say daddy or dad, I mean the man who raised me. Otherwise, I'll say my biological father. So he's been in my life since I was a baby. But growing up knowing that I do or that I do have a biological father who chose not to be in my life was very hard. There were plenty of nights I remember crying myself to sleep, wondering why he didn't want me, why he wasn't around, why he didn't want to get in contact with me. Like, he made no effort to reach out. I got no letters. I got nothing from him. And so as a little girl, that weighs on you. As a little girl, I believe the last time I cried myself to sleep about it, I was about 8 or 10. And a lot of it had to do with the fact that my sister, my sister that's right under me, she had her dad and her fraternal side of the family, her dad's side of the family, and they loved her to pieces. And granted, they always took me in, and they tried to do for me when they did for her, but it was still different. I still knew that that was her family, not mine. And it wasn't until I was older, literally actually until about a year or 2 ago, that I realized I was jealous of the fact that she had a dad. I was jealous of the fact that her dad wanted to be in her life, and was in her life. Granted, again, he wasn't in the household, but he wanted to be in her life, and he loved her. So that in itself was hard on me, and it caused me to act out with her in ways that I've had to recently even apologize for. I've repented for, because I wasn't the best big sister to her a lot of the time because of that internal struggle that I was having then, and as a little girl didn't know that's what I was dealing with, didn't know that's what I was feeling. But I remember going throughout my childhood, elementary school on up, dealing with wanting to be liked. Like, I wanted everybody to like me, and I didn't understand. I had a hard time understanding if they didn't. I sought out validation very early on, especially from boys. I would see them, you know, liking other girls, or like the popular girls would get the attention, and it just made me feel some kind of way, because here I am again, like, why won't anybody choose me? Like, why won't they choose me? And granted, I did have crushes that, you know, or guys that crushed on me or that liked me or whatever, but it was something about just wanting to be chosen that I struggled with for a very long time. And when I say a very long time, I mean from childhood until I was about 26. I struggled with that tremendously, just wanting to feel validated, just wanting to feel like somebody chose me and wanted me. And again, it took me up until 26, maybe, to realize why it was that way. To realize that it stemmed from me not being validated from a father figure, or from my biological father. So it started out seeking, you know, little puppy love or childish behavior of seeking validation there, or wanting to know why the guys, you know, I didn't get a lot of Valentines when it came to class Valentine Day, or I didn't get a lot of those, and just looking at the girls who I felt like were being chosen. And then it just evolved as I got older. It evolved, especially at puberty, with the hormonal changes, and then now I'm thinking about sex and just having all of these hormonal changes, and then going through puberty where my face, I suffered greatly with acne. And so then I'm like, I'm not pretty. The guys don't think I'm pretty. I wasn't as filled out. I was always like stick figure skinny. Like, I was always really, really skinny. So I suffered a lot with low self-esteem and not feeling worthy enough or anything. Going through that, I lost my virginity very, very early. I lost my virginity at 13. It wasn't even to a guy, quote unquote boyfriend at the time. It was just a guy in my neighborhood that I liked, and I wanted to be chosen. And I was a horny little teenager, and I wanted somebody to want me. And it happened, and from then I kind of got I went from being a tomboy in elementary to then being a mischievous hoochie, as some would say. Like, I would, you know, sneak different outfits out when I wasn't at home. I would wear little short skirts, just start, you know, dressing in a way that I felt would garner me attention. Like, if they want to see skin, I'm going to wear my short shorts. I'm going to wear my halter tops. Around this time, I believe chat rooms were a big thing in like the late 90s for me. I'm sure they existed before then, but for me, it was around the late 90s. So I was in middle school and when I was on chat rooms, and it was just, again, about feeling chosen. Ooh, you talking to me like that? Ooh. And that's what it was for me. Just, I'm sorry, someone drove by. I remember being attracted to the bad guys or the broken guys. And it would be a sense of, it's almost like a project, really, which isn't good to say, but I would be attracted to and would attract at all times the broken guys that I felt like, you know, I can fix them, or I can heal them. My love can heal them. My love can fix them. And not realizing that the brokenness in them was attracting the brokenness in me, and vice versa. Broken attracts broken. And I wasn't realizing, why is it that these guys would just suck all of the energy out of me, all of the life out of me, and leave. And I'm left yet again wondering, what is it about me that he didn't choose? What did I do? I'm not a bad person. Like, why did he not choose me? Why did he too leave? Like, nobody has ever loved me like I love them. Like, I'm always the person in the relationship that loves and loves hard. I fall fast and I fell hard, and I would give and give and give way more than I was receiving. It was never reciprocated, and I would feel broken. It would always question, I would be left to question my worth, left to question what it was about me that nobody felt was valuable enough to stick around or to love, to reciprocate even half of what I was giving. And I had to sit with that. I had to sit with what I was doing in relationships. I needed the attention. I was clingy. I needed the affection. And when I didn't get it, I felt rejected. And if a guy wasn't trying to have sex with me, then I'm like, what is it about me? Are you gay? What is it about me that you don't? Do you see this? And I had to sit with that. When I started going through my process of healing, I had to sit with that and ask myself, what was the issue? Why did I keep attracting the same type of man? Why was I repeating the same type of relationship over and over? Why was I choosing the wrong man? Like, why were there so many bad men out here? And I had to realize that I was the common denominator in all of those relationships, all of those failed relationships or failed situationships. I was the common denominator. And it hurt to have to face the fact that you're the reason you keep going through this. You're the reason that you keep choosing the same type of guy or keep attracting the same type of guy. You're attracting emotionally unavailable men because deep down, you're emotionally unavailable. You keep attracting emotionally unavailable men because your father was not emotionally available to you. You keep attracting the guys who don't choose you because you won't choose you. You keep attracting the guys who won't validate you because you won't validate you. I had to realize that I kept repeating the same relationships because I kept approaching them the same way, looking for a guy to validate me, looking for a guy to choose me, looking for a guy to love me, looking for a guy to heal me, when I had to do the work of validating myself, finding validation through Christ. I had to learn to love me, find true love through Christ, love me the way he loves me, see me the way he sees me. I had to learn how to heal on my own. I had to go through the process of healing. I can't look for someone else to heal me. I can't look for someone else to make me happy. I can't look for someone else to give me my self-worth. I had to go out, and I still have to go out and do the work of constantly reminding myself that you are worthy. I am worthy. I am enough for the right man. And it took me a long time to realize, even after I wrote my forgiveness letters. If you haven't watched my first video, my journey to self-healing and love, I believe is the name of it. I'll link it in the description below. If you haven't watched it, go in and watch it. I discuss my forgiveness letters, but even after I wrote my forgiveness letter to my biological father, I felt like, okay, I got it out. He responded. I gave him, he said his piece. I said my piece. I'm like, okay, I've forgiven him. I'm good. I'm good. But it wasn't until last year, while I was writing Broken to Bride, that the Holy Spirit told me it was time to reach out to him again. And I had given up. I was like, I'm not going to reach out to him. I'm the child. He's the parent. He needs to reach out to me. He doesn't need to send me messages through family members telling me that he's thought about me, or he regrets things. He needs to reach out to me. I'm not reaching out to him. Ego. And so the Father told me last year I needed to reach out to him. Actually, that was this year. That was earlier this year, after I premiered Broken to Bride. So even through the journey of writing Broken to Bride, filming Broken to Bride, premiering Broken to Bride this past February, I thought, I was well. I had forgiven. I was well with my soul. I had forgiven him, and I am on the way to wherever I was supposed to be. And I was meditating, and the Father told me I needed to reach out to him. And I was like, why? But why? And he told me that it was time for me to mend it. And I was like, okay. And I began praying for him. And I was praying for his well-being. I was praying for his healing, his mental, his spiritual, and emotional healing. And during this prayer, I remember crying. I cried. And it was the first time that I thought about him and cried since I was 8 or 10. But it wasn't a cry of pain or the need or a brokenness. It wasn't that type of cry. I was crying for him. I was crying for his healing and for his guilt and shame, and for him to be able to deal with that and face it. I was crying in empathy. I was crying in empathy for him for the very first time. And that's when I knew I'd forgiven him. That's when I knew that I'd grown and I was in a better space. And so I reached out to him and told him that, God told me to reach out to him. And I won't go into great detail, but I told him that, I was in a different space than I was when I first reached out to him a few years ago. And I just wanted to focus on forgiveness and mending and moving forward. I didn't want to linger in the past. We both can agree that he was a horrible father. We could both agree that no, he wasn't there. There were so many things that he could have done differently. But that's not where I want to focus. I want to focus on growth. And we've actually been communicating back and forth for a few months. And I'm good with that, I may not ever call him dad. I have a daddy, so I probably will never call him dad. But I am happy with where we are and where we can continue to grow. I'm happy with growth and evolution and healing. And I just continue to pray for his healing and that he forgives himself. So, yeah, I didn't really expect it to go there, but said all of that to say that a father figure for a little girl is so essential. It's just as essential as a mother's role, because the father lays the foundation for the little girl on how she should be treated as a queen, how she should be treated, what she should expect and accept from guys. And when she doesn't have that, she goes out and seeks that in ways that she doesn't understand. She seeks that from anybody who will give that to her. Any way that she can feel validated or feel like she's being chosen and loved or affirmed, she's going to go out and seek that. And in most cases, if not all, it's not for the better. And it only does major damage to her self-esteem, to her self-worth, and unless she takes time out to do the work, a broken little girl is only going to become a broken woman. And a broken woman can only raise broken girls. So we have to do the work. Fathers, in taking responsibility and being in your daughter's lives, or in your kids, period. But in this video, I'm referring to little girls because I know my experience. Fathers, we have to take responsibility in being in your little girls' lives, validating them at a young age, letting them know that they are worthy, letting them know that they are special and that they have more to offer than what's between their legs. And women, we have to do the work in knowing and learning that we are so much more than the broken little girl that was left by her father. We have so much more to give than love to the wrong men. Our love is sacred, our love is special, and our love should be guarded. Our hearts should be guarded so that we can only give them to men who will, or to the people who will appreciate them and hold them dearly and treat them with the kindness and gentleness and love that we deserve. So, ladies, let me be the first to tell you, if no one else has, you are worth it. You are worth it. Adjust your crowns, queens. Until next time, love and light, you guys, and I will see you in the next video.